Hello, I'm Mathieu from Ludochrono, and today I'm going to give you an overview of Erune. So Erune is a dungeon crawling game for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, and it plays for around 30 minutes per player. This is a game in which you play either as adventurers or as the Master of Shadows. And if you are the Master of Shadows, it means that you are playing one against all. But you can also play cooperatively with only adventurers. So in this case, I'm just going to present the base game, the Overlord game, with the Master of Shadows and adventurers. So in this game you play as an adventurer and you have a player sheet and actually 2 player sheets, one card which is a reference and a few aptitudes, and also a player sheet in which you record every equipment you get, and you also have your stats here. You can have talents, and these talents are very important because they allow you to resolve situations in different ways, and you can upgrade them and have many more of them. As you can see, we have a deck of talents, but you get them with experience and not per se. And you might have spells which are a way to spend your mana. And this is going to be done for certain characters, and other characters might rely more on talents and different other things. So now that's what adventurers have, but they are also a miniature on the board or on the main game area. And the Master of Shadows has a screen, and they have a lot of things behind their screen, and notably the quest booklet. So they have a quest booklet, and it presents different dungeons, and it should not be read by the adventurers. In this case, I'm going to present the first 2 rooms of the first scenario. So it is an introduction to the game, it's not the entire game, and you will be able to discover many secrets along the way. So this is Dolan's Mill, and actually there is a miller, and she asks us to rid her mill of rats, and we move into the cellar of a mill, and this is this dank place. So now we're going to be playing, and we play in turns. Turns have 3 phases: an event phase in which the app tells us of the event that goes for this round. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes not. Then you will have the Master of Shadows phase. In this case, I cannot move any monsters because there are no monsters yet. And then the adventurers phase. So in this case, the adventurers will take their turns, and on your turn as an adventurer you have 2 actions. You can move, you can attack, you can cast a spell. You also have free actions like drink a potion or give an item to a neighbor. In this case, the warrior is going to start, and they are going to move. They roll the die, they do a move of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can rotate your character. And this is important because you can only attack in front of you orthogonally, and you cannot defend in your back, obviously. And then she's going to search the room. So I'm going to say to the app, I searched the room. The warrior searches the room. So the warrior searches the cabinet. And then the app is going to tell you what we found. In this case, we found an amulet. And you can find many things. You can find many equipments. They will be in the rule book. So you have weapons, protections, boots, substances that you can drink or eat. And all of those can be recorded onto your player sheet, and that will help you track your stats. For example, if you find boots, you will go quicker. So your move will have a base bonus, and so on and so forth. So now the warrior has taken 2 actions. That's the end of her turn. We can move to the archer. And the archer is rightly going to move. Let's imagine they rolled a better number, and they will be able to cross this door. And when you cross a door, the Master of Shadows is going to lay out the next room for you. Now we can see the rats. And the rat problem is here. We have like a barrel and door, and the archer might try to prepare for combat. If they do so, they will get 1 temporary stamina that they have to spend during their next turn. So what is stamina used for? Stamina is used primarily for talents. So for example, adrenaline has you spend stamina to add power dice to your attacks. So you may perform bigger attacks, but the Master of Shadows can also gain stamina. And this is very important because the Master of Shadows can also power things up. In this case, you have a maximum of stamina, and this also depends on your character. So now we have finished everyone's turn. We will move to the next turn by simply clicking the next turn. We will have an event, then we move on to the Master of Shadows phase. So now we resolve the event at the beginning of the turn, and then we move on to the Master of Shadows. The Master of Shadows has two actions like the rest of the players, and they will, for example, move a rat, place it here. It can attack the archer, and the creatures, the monsters, are all recorded as a card. So you will have like a rat has 1 hit point, they give you 1 XP, they have a value of move, they have 1 black die for attacks, no defense, and as they are small, they will have a bonus trait. So you have different traits, different things for each creature, and you have many different creatures. And the rat is going to attack that character, the archer. So they roll the die, and if they land onto a shield, nothing happens. If they land into a skull, that's a hit. And then that character has to defend, and they have to defend with their defense score. Sometimes they use their base defense, sometimes they use their armor, and have different sets of dice. You may notice that we have different colors because we have different intensities of dice. And you roll a die. If you don't have a shield to defend against a hit, well, you lose a hit point. You could have a shield to defend it, or you could have a stamina. Stamina doesn't defend you, you would still lose a hit point, but you would gain a stamina, and this wouldn't be a temporary one, this would be a permanent one that you can use, whereas the temporary one is discarded at the end of the turn. And that's it for the basic gist of the game, because the adventurer's attacks work exactly like the monsters. There's the matter of casting spells. To cast a spell, you just need to basically choose the spell that you cast, be able to target the person, spend the mana, and you apply the ability that's on there. And that's it for the base of the game. So the game will continue until all of the adventurers are defeated, but you can resurrect with destiny points, or you can also strike a pact with the Master of Shadows to resuscitate. The adventurers win by completing their quest. For example, in this case, it's ridding the meal of every rat. And there you have it. That's the base of the game. So now the game has many more things to offer. You have a lot of quests, and you have a lot of different creatures and monsters, and you may notice that some of them are mounted onto others, and you will be able to progress. With experience, you can improve your class, your character class, and specialize. You can unlock new talents, and the talents can be unlocked, and there is a wide variety of them. You can unlock new spell schools, improve your spells, and so on and so forth. But the adventurers are not the only one to power up, since the Master of Shadows has a huge deck of threats that they can unleash to hinder the players. So that's it for Erune. So this is a dungeon crawler in which you go through different adventures and level up your character while being guided by an app. Now, bye bye, see you on Ludo-Chrono.